I'm Will.
And I'm Steven.
And this is the PostP Chronicles.
Hey, what up, say? Yeah.
So, before we get started, if you like these stories, if you want us to keep telling these amazing transformational stories, then please like, subscribe, and share. Like, subscribe, and share. Now, with that being said, Steven, who do we have today? And tell us where we are.
I was going to say, instead of who do we have, where are we? We're in a hotel room. Why are we in a hotel room? Because we are in Uganda. And last time we were in Uganda, we did a very special interview. This interview, I think, may be even more special and an even cooler story because we are directly part of this man's story. So we've gotten to see an amazing thing over the last couple of days. But I want to introduce everyone to Roger.
Yeah, my name's of Mukisa Rogers as per now, because I've been Rajab in the past, and I'm here to talk about my life in the past and up to where I am right now.
So Roger, where were you born?
I was born in Kampala.
Kampala.
Yeah, raised up from there in the slums. That's all I can say.
Mm-hmm.
The so-called ghettos.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I grew up from. I was raised up by a lady. She's a Muslim. And I spent all my time, my lifetime with my mom. So I had to leave the Islamic side. I have lived the Islamic side for all my life. And I've been working with different people in Uganda. And that's when I got an opportunity to go to Sudan.
Before we go there,
Yeah.
how was growing up a Muslim?
That's exactly what I was going to ask.
Growing up a Muslim wasn't bad in my life because I just grew up knowing that, as you know,
Right.
kids, you can't get to know whether this is right or wrong. You can't know the right path unless someone gives you, or unless you get to know by yourself. And Islam wasn't really bad for me. Not though what they taught us when I grew up, I started learning that, to know that it's not really what is supposed to be done. And I had to change as me, I had to change myself. Though I went through a lot, but my childhood wasn't bad. That's all I can say. Though
Well,
my education didn't go further. Yeah.
So you said that you grew up Muslim, but more importantly, you said you grew up in the slums. Now,
Yeah.
most of the people watching this right now,
Yeah.
their slums may be just a little bit different from your slum. So if you can, briefly tell us what that slum looked like for you, the ghetto looked like for you right here in Kampala.
Now, for me, the ghetto where I grew up from, it's a place where I can say we used to live with groups of people who used to smoke, others used to sniff some fuel, jet fuel, others chew green card, that's the mirror.
And it was basically like tents on dirt, right?
It was just like, should I say, single rooms. You stay there, your mom, your siblings, everyone in a single room. Then, as you know, we the boys, you have to say, I can't stay home all the time, let me just go with my friends in. Then from there I started even some bad habits like smoking weed, that I can confess. And I had even planted some, so I had to give up with all those. That was in my ghetto life.
And those of you who don't know, Kampala, I believe, is the second biggest slums in the world, right?
Of course, that's it.
It's huge. And if you're doing this Google slums of Kampala, it's miles and miles and miles and miles of
It's
just
really very
ghetto.
very
It's
big.
one of the worst places in the world.
And the exactly place in the ghetto that I grew up from, it's called Mpelere along Gayaza Road. That's where I grew up from.
Mm.
Yeah.
So you said that you ended up going to Sudan. What was that like? What was that journey like?
The journey to Sudan began from after me dropping off school because of some financial issues.
How old were you?
That was something like 16 years. Then I had to drop off. I went, I didn't go there by myself, but I was pulled up by a friend that said, there is a deal in Juba, let's go and try it out. So I had to go and follow up him. We went to Sudan, though it wasn't, we didn't go through the right path. We had to go behind, not through the borders. When we reached Juba, it was like my first time being there. The place was really so hot, I couldn't manage the place for the first weeks.
So in a desert,
yeah.
I wouldn't want to be in Sudan either.
It was really hot. And probably the next time I'll show you my pictures, the way I was and how Sudan turned me to. Yeah.
Darker than he already is.
What?
You see my palms?
Oh yeah, we definitely gonna see these pictures.
They're more dark than this.
Darker than that?
Show the camera.
You see?
Look at this.
It's
Man.
I don't even want to show mine. You said darker than that.
They're more darker.
Darker than that.
So what were you doing? What job were you doing in
In
Sudan?
Sudan, I first worked as a hawker for someone's hardware, whereby I could go to door by door shop, request for items they needed. Then I go back to the main shop, carry those items, either they're hammers, some blades, pangas, machetes, hardware stuff.
Right.
Then you take to the client. That's what I used to do there. Then later on, I got another friend that came from Kampala and was somehow financially well, had to set up a business in Juba. All he did is just tell me, come into my shop, and it was a motorbike shop. So we had to sell spare parts and also repair the bikes. So I learned some bit of repairing the motorbikes, and I had some skills in motor vehicle repairing.
Like a mechanic. you
Yeah,
told me.
in the mechanics, yeah. So that's how I started in Juba, like that.
Business was good.
Business was really good and booming. Not until that was 2013. That's the day when that's the year when things went wrong.
So what happened?
Get wrong. It was a night, so some Sudanese suspected us to have some big amounts of money. Yeah, inside the room. It was a small room. We worked from it and we slept in, because you couldn't rent two things at once. A room for sleeping and a workplace. It was really hard. So when they came in, I was alone in the room.
How many?
I didn't know the number that was in total, but the number I got to know, there were the three guys who entered in. They entered in with the machetes. So all I had to do was to please forgive me. And once I saw they had no heart of forgiveness.
So you tried to stop it.
Yeah.
They were coming to kill you and you said, hey, I'm sorry,
Please, I
don't
have
do it.
nothing. I have no money here. I'm just a work here. I'm just an employee. This isn't my business. And they're like, do not tell us anything. This is our country. You come here to take our money to your home. Please give us the money you have.
It was a racist thing.
That's when I had to turn to what I did. I held the machetes as they struck me like this. I had to defend myself.
So did they end up hitting you?
This is the only part that I got damaged. This is it.
They cut your
This is
leg.
it.
And so tell us about what happened afterwards, if you don't mind. So they tried to cut you. You obviously
When
defended
they-
yourself.
Yeah, when they tried to cut me, I defended up myself. By God's will, because it wasn't my will or power, I just got the machete from them. I started just to whip it around everywhere, to everyone that I saw around. At the end, I was filled up with blood in my room. I tried to call my neighbors, since some of them had already got the alarm. And making matters worse, most of the neighbors were Sudanese. No one could come in early enough. Not until I called my friends from the next town. Then they came in to help me. When they came in, they said you were not going to survive because you had more people outside. And that's the number I didn't get to know.
So there are people outside waiting
Yeah,
for
they
you.
were waiting for the guys who had entered in.
But you ended up,
I slaughtered the ones who came in.
killing the ones inside.
Yeah, then
then you called.
I called for help.
And you
When
never
I
went
started,
outside?
I never went outside. I couldn't.
So you
Because
could have
the
been
need
dead
was
also.
worse, yeah, that was it. So life wasn't easy in Sudan. When my friends came in, police also came in at the same moment, and they couldn't allow them to take me away. So the police held me up in their hands. And that's how I ended up in Juba prison.
What did they charge you with?
That's murder. Yeah.
Was it self-defense?
Of course, it was self-defense.
So they recognized it was self-defense?
Later on.
Okay.
Yeah, because it took them some time to understand my side than their citizens' side.
Yeah.
Yeah. Since I was a foreigner, things were going to go back to my side. Not until God heard my prayers when I was in prison. Though the times I spent in prison, I had to tell my parents about this, but I said no, I won't. I knew my dad would react positively and could help me, but still things would not go wrong, would not go right at that moment.
And how old are you? Like, what age are you at this point?
At that age, I was like 22 years.
Wow.
22
Yeah.
years.
22 years. I was in Juba.
Mm.
Yeah.
So what was prison like in Sudan?
Really, prison in
For a
Sudan.
foreigner.
For a foreigner, it's really different. It's not the same as home. It's really a bad place. That's what I can say.
Is there violence in prison?
There is a lot of violence. If you're not a native, you'll be denied some things like food. You'll be denied to sleep peacefully. Yet others, the citizens, can sleep well, feed well, make calls home. But for the foreigner, nothing. Yeah.
So you finally came home.
I finally
You
came
finally
home.
came home. How long did you do?
I did 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
3 years, and you finally came home.
And they said, get
Yeah.
out of Sudan.
Just go back home.
Now, let's go back home. So how has it been since you've been home? What was it like coming home?
What year did you come home?
Coming home, I came back here 2016 when it's getting done.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was from 2013 to 2016. Yeah, that's when I came back home 3 years. I served for 3 years.
So what has it been like?
It's life here in Uganda is now like I was getting reborn because I had no ideas about business. I had nothing to do. I went back direct to my mom. Yeah, I went direct back to my mom. My mom just supported me, said be strong, don't give up. She gave me some money to go up, start working in garages. That's when I started getting friends in different garages and got opportunities. That's how Brian found me out because of my skills. It was one day he just brought a car to the garage. Then he said, can you take my car back home after working on it? And I was like, thank you, sir, I will do it. The way I drove his car gave me an opportunity to start working with Mr. Brian on the Muddy Travels.
So now you've been talking about, obviously you say you were Muslim.
Yes,
now
I
you
was.
are Christian. And
Yeah.
I know in the Islam religion you can't just convert
You
to
can't just
Christianity.
convert, yeah.
You said many miracles happen along the way. So what started the change from being a Muslim to a Christian?
The changes I got, then all I can say the negatives. First of all, I lost a lot of friends. Job opportunities were lost because of the name Rajab, and that was so hectic to me because I didn't have an opportunity of work anywhere because of the name. And now in Uganda, it's becoming something different. Once you're Muslim, you may lose some things. That's it.
And so how did you discover?
I came to discover about God, or to know about God, by a day I traveled with a man of God to Kasese, and he's by names of Pastor Myron. He's from the States. He just told me, he just hired me up as a driver, and I wanted to be his driver because I had never driven an Amazon. That was the opportunity I got that day. I drove him. He was doing the same things I think you're doing, but he was so into much evangelism and helping the elders mostly, those who couldn't help out themselves. When I was with him on the journey, I had to help him in each and everything without hoping to get something for it, because I was doing it from my heart.
Right.
Then he said, you man, are you a Christian? And I told him no. But why are you helping me so like that? Yet they just gave you as my driver. I told him, I'm seeing you an elder man. I have to do what I can, what I feel like is right to be done. As you know, if you've ever been to the Renzori Kasese, I used to carry his backpack, like, should I say, weighing 20 kilos on my back.
What is that?
50 pounds.
50 pounds.
Yeah, 20 kilos on my back. Then help him climb Renzori mountains so that he could find the elders that could not go back down to get medication. We used to take medication to them.
Now, how high is that climb?
It's really high. It's
Really high?
Yeah,
And-
because it's just full of mountains, hills, valleys like that, continuously.
No offense, you're not that big. So 50 pounds is
Man, I used
is
to
a
do
lot of weight.
20 kilograms here in Uganda. I don't know how you
45 pounds, sorry.
45, yeah.
Because the 45-pound plate says 20 kg on the other side, and
Is it?
45 pounds.
I think that's it.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I used to do
That's
that.
a-
I used to do that.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Man.
From my will. Then this man of God was like, Rajab, from today, I want you to work with me, no matter what your name states, either you're Muslim, but I see you're a real man to be working with. And that's the day I was like, God, thanks. This is my opportunity. I'll never yearn for a job again, ever since then. Even if I go back home and just sleep or sit or stay in my gardens, God will bring opportunities and just say, Rajab, where are you? Come and work this, come and drive this, come and do this. Yeah, just like that. Though a lot of people have been chasing me away because of the name, and now I have to post this widely and I have to make it globally so that everyone gets to know that changing or transformation from the dark side to the light side isn't bad.
So let's talk about, you found Jesus, you're
Yeah.
a Christian, all these job opportunities. Tell me about what God's been doing in your life these last couple days, even with your name.
Wow. He has done a lot of wonders in me. And
Let's hear
after-
your story from your perspective.
After the baptism, should I say about the baptism?
Please,
Yeah.
share
Yeah.
story.
After the baptism, I felt like I'm reborn. I'm really a new person.
So in not Ugandan, well, yes, Ugandan Muslim culture, once you convert to Christianity, you are supposed to get a new name, but you can't get a new name
It's
until
really
you
hard.
are born again and baptized, and then they have to give you a new name, right?
Yes, that's
And
it.
so the amazing opportunity that we got to see was getting to baptize you and giving you your new name.
I was really happy about the new name. Please, guys, if you're seeing this, I'm no longer Rajab, it's Rogers.
Roger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my name now.
So then what is Roger, what's his life gonna look like going forward?
Roger's life now going forward, I'm looking forward to go back and meet my kids, my wife, because due to the past I had lost everything, as I had said. That's when I even lost my family. They left me because of a lot of challenges, financial, smoking a lot. I used to do that. Then she was like, I can't manage you, let's break up, let's do it. And I was like, if that's what you need, take that road. I'll stay as I am. Yeah. But now, I'm really happy and excited, extra happy about being a Christian, being a born again. I was changed. Transformation is really good.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And just for me, being the outside person looking in, the story was just, you know, Stephen, he was in the car with you, so he got to hear your story. And when he pulled me aside and he started telling me a story, I'm like, man, allergies? Like, like what's going on? Are you serious? And then when he hit the idea to baptize you and being able to see first him asking Brian and then asking you and the joy, it was like just joy all over your face. Like, are you serious? You want to baptize me? And
I
then
couldn't believe it, first of all.
I could tell. You know, I could tell. It was evident all over your face. Like, man, are you serious? What are you doing? He's like, man. I'm like, oh, watch out.
I felt joy in me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that
Spirit
joy was given to me and everyone around you, right? And so I'm glad that I was able to be a part of it, even just by sight.
And one of the coolest things I think also is, yes, we were part of your story, and yes, we got to see all these things, but just how God brought you into our lives so we could be a part of your PostP story, and we get to be and support you in your next chapter. I mean, I think there's nothing more amazing than that. You know, there was the asking to baptize you, the baptism, all that stuff. It's just like, it was definitely the highlight of my trip, but I do want to mention one thing. One of the highlights too was you've just become Christian, and you've just been baptized, but you were preaching in prison yesterday.
On fire.
Both prisons. You got to tell us.
I don't know how I did that.
Yeah, you gave your testimony in prison. You told them like it is, and I think a lot of lives were changed by your story yesterday.
Of course, that's why you saw a lot of them coming next to me after the words.
Yeah.
When we're departing, you saw guys coming in.
Yes.
They're flocking to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think God's already using you, and I think He wants to continue to use you, and just your faithfulness, and He knows your heart, and you are going to be blessed. And as soon as you get that social media, we're going to be friends on social media.
Of course I will.
And I got your number, so I'm going to be checking in on you.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
And I just want to say this is one of those perfect opportunities. This is what PostP always stood for, right?
Yeah.
We're not our worst mistakes, right? We're not our worst mistakes, and you represent that.
Yes,
And just meeting you, never would have guessed the story that came with it. Everyone has such a unique story,
That's true.
and it was just, oh, I'm Rajab, I'm Christian now, right? That was it, and then you started to share your story.
Yeah.
It's such an amazing blessing to be a part of PostP, to be able to tell these stories, hear these stories, and allow these stories to transform everyone who hears them as well. So thank you for allowing us to hear
And thank you for letting us participate in your
I'm
story.
also really, really happy and glad for your support, each and everything you've been doing here in this place. It has really taught me a big thing. So everything you've been doing here, I have to go back and put it in actions. It won't just stop here. I also have to go and practice it in my area.
Yes, sir.
At least I'll get the old clothes, sell them to the needy that do not have clothing.
Mhm.
Yes.
Though I can't manage the new, but the old we can get. They are
Oh, for
very
sure.
cheap, and I'll support that.
Every
I'll
little
do
bit
that.
counts.
That's great.
Because it's a big deal to me now.
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
I feel comforted.
And next time we come back,
Yeah.
we want you as our driver.
Definitely.
Okay?
You thought it was going to be something different?
You're part of the team now. You're on the team.
What did you think,
Thanks
Roger?
a lot.
You're part of the
Really
team,
happy.
all right?
Thanks.
When I contact Brian, I'm going to say, I want Roger.
You're part of the PostP family, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Part of the PostP family. Thank you,
The
Roger.
man behind the camera, thanks a lot.
You wanna say anything to the crowd in Ugandan really quick?
In Luganda now, let me say it in my language. Banange abampuliriza mwenna baganda bange abakona ab'emikwano mbagala mwenna era kyensaba mukkirize Mukama Katonda okuba omulokozi wammwe kuba olunaku lw'enkomerero lutuuka olunaku lwonna temukigaana ekyo ababuzaabuza bonna enzikiriza zonna gye ziri naye mutima gwo gwe gusalawo sijja gamba ddiini sijja gamba ki naye nzikirizayo era mbagala nnyo nkoze n'aba PostP awamu ne legal awamu n'aba ne Uncle Brian eyandeeta wano eno okukola nampa abaami bano bombi ne group ye nga bwe tukoze bantu ba Katonda nnyo era nsaba mwekwase Mukama Katonda ebizibu byammwe byonna bijja kutereera nange nze mwenyini nzikiriza nti obulamu bwange bugenda kukyuka okuva n'olunaku lwaleero sikomye leero sigenda kukoma nkya naye ngenda kiteekinga lubeerera obulamu bwange bwonna sijja kudda mabega era nzikiriza Mukama Katonda okuba omulokozi wange okuva leero neyanziza nnyo eyanzeege abampuliriza. Thank you.
Amen.
So once again, well, first of all, webalenyo. Thank you.
What?
Webale nnyo ssebo.
Wabalenyo.
Webale nnyo.
Webalenyo.
Mwebale nnyo. Mukama Katonda abawe omukisa. May
Once-
God bless you all.
Amen.
Amen.
Amina. Amina.
Amina.
Once again,
I'm Will,
and I'm Steven.
and this is the PostP Chronicles.
Hey, what up, say? Yeah.